Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know when I sit down and when I rise up. Even before a word is on my tongue, you know it all together. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me. For you formed my inward parts. You knitted me together in my mother's womb. I will praise you. For I am fearfully and wonderfully made.
Girls, and welcome back to the Lighthouse. I'm the Lighthouse Keeper, Jen, and I'm so excited that you are here with me. I have a secret to tell you. I love toys, Legos and Play-Doh and all sorts of robotic things and things that have a surprise in them. I love surprise toys, like when you open it up or there's a puzzle that has a special box that has a special pattern you have to punch in order to get the box to open so you can find out what's inside. Love those kinds of toys. They're some of my absolute favorite. And I brought one with me today. It's a whale. See, he's got his little spout on the top there, and his fins and his tail, and there's his underbelly. But if you rattle the whale, there's something inside of this whale. So if we take it open, let's see. Inside of this whale is a little man. Now, some of you know a story from the Bible that talks about a little man who got swallowed by a very big fish. And we're going to look at that story today because as we're learning how to track the one true God here on Mystery Island, we're going to talk about a God who knows everything, a God who is all powerful, and a God who is everywhere. And this little guy who's inside of the whale helps to teach us all about that God who is all-knowing, all-powerful, and all-present. Now, I brought a special book with me today, and it is called the Jesus Storybook Bible. It is one of my favorite books to read because every story in here teaches me about how the Bible helps me understand Jesus. So we're going to read a story from the Storybook Bible about a man named Jonah. Ready? Here we go. God had a job for Jonah, but Jonah didn't want it. Go to Nineveh, God said, and tell your worst enemies I love them. No, said Jonah. Those are bad people doing bad things. Exactly, said God. They have run far away from me, but I can't stop loving them. I will give them a new start. I will forgive them. No, said Jonah. They don't deserve it. I'll run away, Jonah said to himself, far away, so far away that God won't be able to find me. Then I won't have to do what God says. It's a good plan, he said to himself, because as far as he knew, it was a good plan. But of course, it wasn't a good plan at all. It was a silly plan because you can run away from God, but he will always come and find you. Jonah went ahead with his not very good plan. One ticket to not Nineveh, please, he said, and boarded a boat sailing in the very opposite direction of Nineveh. Well, it wasn't long before a fierce storm blew and the boat started to lurch and pitch and roll, and everyone started turning green. Jonah sat bolt upright in his bed. You see, the first thing that went wrong with Jonah's not so very good plan was that God sent a big storm after him. The sailors couldn't sail their ship properly. We're sinking, they screamed, and started throwing everything overboard, suitcases, food, whatever they could find. By now, Jonah knew the storm was his fault. "Throw me instead," he said to the sailors, "and the storm will stop." The sailors weren't sure. "It's the only way you can be saved," Jonah said. And so, 1, 2, 3. Splash! No sooner had Jonah hit the water than the waves grew calm, the wind died down, and the storm stopped. Just then, when Jonah thought it was all over and he was sure he was going to drown, God sent a big fish to rescue him. The fish swallowed Jonah whole in one big gulp. Jonah must have thought he'd died. It was so dark in there, like a tomb. But then he smelled the rotting food, and he knew he wasn't dead. He was in the belly of the fish. Sitting there in the darkness for 3 whole days, Jonah had plenty of time to think. Pretty soon, he realized his plan was, well, a very silly plan indeed. He was sorry for running away. He prayed to God from inside the great fish and asked God to forgive him. After 3 days, the fish spat Jonah directly out onto a sandy beach. Just then, Jonah heard someone calling his name. "Go to Nineveh," God said. And this time, Jonah said, "Yes!" He went straight to Nineveh and told everyone God's wonderful message. "Even though you run far from God, he can't stop loving you," Jonah said. "Run to him so he can forgive you." The people of Nineveh listened to Jonah, and they started loving God. They learned to do what God said, to stop running away from him, just like Jonah. Many years later, God was going to send another messenger with the same wonderful news. Like Jonah, he would spend 3 days in utter darkness. But this messenger would be God's own son. He would be called the Word because he himself would be God's message. God's message translated into our own language. Everything God wanted to say to the whole world in a person. Wow, isn't that a great story? The story of a man who said, "I don't want to do what God is asking me to do, even though it would mean other people could know how great and awesome and powerful and present he is." And he changed his mind after some serious events involving a really big fish. Now, there are some pretty amazing things we can learn from this story of Jonah. There can be great evil or bad in the world around us. And God says, if we turn to him, he can help heal and fix and teach us about great good. That's pretty amazing because God is almighty. Now, when we say that almighty word, we talk about how powerful God is, how big God is, and how able God is. And I'm going to show you 3 different signs here, and we're going to talk about some really big words. Does anybody love big words? I really like cattywampus. That's a good word. There's some big words out there that we use, and here's one that helps us understand a little bit more about God. Omniscient. Does anybody know what that word means? It's a big word, and when we're talking about God, we use this word sometimes. Omniscient. Well, now this word could be split into 2 words. Omni, which could mean all. In English, if we took it into the English, omni could mean all. And scient, which means knowing. It's talking about your conscience and your ability to be aware of what's going on around you. So all-knowing or omniscient. And that means that God knows everything. Did God know that Noah was going to say, I'm not going to Nineveh. Those are bad people. Yep, God knew that. Did he know that Jonah would need some help being saved from a big fish's belly? Yep, he sure did. Did God know that Nineveh was dangerous and scary? Yeah. Did God love Jonah? Yeah. Did God love the people of Nineveh too? Yeah. God knew all of that. He knows everything about you as well. And he loves you. All right, ready for another big word? All right, so here we go. Let's look at this one. Omnipotent. So we see the omni here again, remember? Omni. So that means all, and potent means strong or powerful, right? So if you drink something like, if you juiced a piece of ginger or a lemon at home and you drank it, ooh, it'd be very potent, very strong. So when we say God is omnipotent, we say that God is all powerful. He's all strong. There's nothing my God cannot do. Have you heard a song that says that? I know one. Maybe one day we'll have to sing it together. All powerful. That is God. All right. One more giant word to help us remember that God is almighty. Here we go. Omnipresent. All, right? Omni meaning all, and present. Now, this could mean something that you find at your home for your birthday or at Christmas, or when somebody sees something and they know, oh, my friend would really love this. They might give you a present, but it also means to be with someone, right? So when your mom and dad are with you, they are present. So God is omni or all present, omnipresent. It means God is everywhere. There's never a place where you are where God won't be. Did Jonah learn that lesson? He sure did. Did the people of Nineveh learn that lesson? They sure did. It might not take a very big fish swallowing you or a big storm. We can do what God asks us any day. And because he's all-knowing, omniscient, and all-powerful, omnipotent, and always present, or omnipresent, we know that God will help us make those wise decisions in everything that we do. Thank you for coming to the Lighthouse with me today. It was so good to spend time with you. Now I know you have some other things to do as we learn about how almighty God is. We'll see you soon.